Now I want to switch gears a little bit. You so you know you've been like a master of branding in many ways because you know we've seen you as Cee Lo Green, we've seen you as a part of a duo with Gnarls Barkley, and I almost compared it to LeBron James winning the championship for Miami Heat and winning the championship with Cleveland, right? Because you went platinum as both. uh, Subtle flex, right? So when do you know that it's time for you to, you know, uh, showcase Thomas Callaway, you know, as this project, you've gone with that, you know, moniker. So like, how do you know when it's time for you to change?
I'll tell you a funny story. So do you remember maybe like a year or so ago, I did this character called Gnarly Davidson?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It was the all gold character.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So put it like this. That was the last time I felt that way. And sometimes I feel it intuitively. And it's a real strong sensation inside of me that says, okay, let's shake it up. Let's do something different. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the point I was making by even referencing that is, if that had worked,
mm-hmm.
and it did work for what it was worth.
Yeah.
But I want to tell you a short story about that.
Yeah.
If it had truly worked, I would have retired being Cee Lo Green altogether. I would have only been that character. You would have been sitting here talking to Gnarly Davidson in all gold. Because, I mean, it's always to push the envelope, to dare to be different, to inspire, to do what I can and do what other people can't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, it begins as a notion, and then you kind of just sort it out, and it becomes scientific. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Then you get meticulous, and then it becomes math, and you get to adding it up, and like, okay, if we do this will work, blah, 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 blah. So, like, I really invested a lot of time and thought into it. And I have an unreleased project, you know what I mean, for the album. Yep. Somebody said the exploding phone, exactly. So when I did the clip of the phone exploding,
yeah,
that was what happened was around that time, if you guys recall, there were real life events with the Samsung phones blowing up in everybody's face.
Right.
So what I was going to do at first is like be in the studio and then have a box, you know, spill over on the board or something and get Ciroc to sponsor it. But like, I'm like, nah, that ain't cool enough. Then, you know, even though Ciroc is cool, shouts out to Puff, that's my big bro. Okay, but
yeah,
you gotta make sure you clear on everything now. All right,
yeah.
So, but what I said this would be dope. I said to make it more believable, I could use the phone thing. So anyway, I did that. But when we were running passes via email, one of the production house, I don't know, they got leaked or somebody, you know, I don't know what they did to it. It got leaked on the other end.
Yeah.
And then when the press got a hold to it, they thought it was me really being hurt. So so it played out of order. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
It wasn't supposed to go out first like that. So anyway, to make a long story short, it's just so interesting because people don't know the whole story.
The backstory, yeah.
But I thought to myself, I said, how does, you know, even in the movies, how does somebody become a superhero? You know, and I'm like, something traumatic happens to them. You know what I mean? So the phone was this traumatic, you know, event that transpired. And it's like, but I got all of this power from it. It's no different than Peter Parker getting bit by a radioactive spider.
That's what it made me think of.
Parents getting murdered. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same. It's the same idea.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you something dope. I had a meeting with Marvel Comics, right? When I went to the Grammys as that character.
Yeah. It
was so big, bro. It went so big. It's so viral.
Yeah.
That character almost became an official Marvel comic character. It would have been one of the Avengers, homie. It would have been historic. Would have
What
been.
so what was the holdup? What was the holdup? Hold
Well,
on.
what happened was they had their JV division. They were the ones that were prompted by it, and they were trying to upstream it. You know what I'm saying? Make it a real thing. But what happened was the stipulation or the circumstance surrounding it, it didn't really work for their brand because they've never based a character off of a real life human beings. A human being.
Okay.
So a real life human is not infallible as a superhero character would be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's too much liability in it, and they couldn't really do it. But everybody was really excited about that idea. But that almost worked. It almost worked.
It was
And
close.
I wasn't even shooting for that. I was just going crazy with it. You know what I mean? Just having fun. Because sometimes, you know, I don't know, man. I'm like a kid at a candy store. I got all of these creative ideas. It's kind of like a lot of what, like me, let's say me and Kanye are the same sign. We both Geminis, man. So I be understanding where he be coming from sometimes, man. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Dog.
Hey, if you understand what Kanye be talking about sometimes, you a superhero, brother.
It's true. Come on, man. He ain't all bad. He
ain't all bad. I love Kanye, but you know, sometimes he's not on his square. He's not always on his square.
That's my bro, man. We just gotta lift him up and pray for him, man. I don't really know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I just mean it creatively. I don't mean whatever his political opinions are. Those are his alone. You know what I'm saying? And all of the other controversy, you know what I mean, that he tends to deal with. But I mean, we can just leave it at the Yeezy Boost. So that's my favorite shoe in the world. Like, ain't nothing.
Yeah.
That's my favorite shoe. So, you know what I'm saying? So it just be wild shit. So like, basically, I came to the point again, but this was a lot more mature because, of course, as you go forward, you age, you learn from experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you mature. So this album, Cee Lo Green, Thomas Callaway, is much more mature. You know, even in the last few years, you know, of my life. And I mean, I've grown a great deal. And I thought to myself, okay, I'm having that little notion again of where I want to do something different. And then I just said, you know, I thought to myself, okay, I wanted to do the Prince thing of where like he wasn't referred to as Prince. You know what I mean? So I said, man, maybe I won't be referred to as Cee Lo Green. I just be referred to as my given name, Thomas Callaway. I said, because at this point in my career, you know, I'm of age. I'm 45 years old, man. You know, this year. So I'm like, I'm seasoned. I'm a veteran. I'm an elder statesman. I'm an OG. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, everything that we do is for the legacy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the legacy is in the last name. So I just figured, you know, and then it was a homage to my my great grandfather because we only referred to him as Callaway. You know what I mean? So the name of the album was going to be Callaway for a while. So I don't know. I'm just rambling now, but you get it.
Yeah. No, that's hard, but
that's why though. That's why.
God.
And to say Cee Lo Green is Thomas Callaway, that's basically me, you know, referencing the Geminian thing. I mean, like the duality. Like Kanye is a Gemini. I mean, so like, you know, so am I. So is Andre 3000 if people don't know. So is Prince. You know what I'm saying? So is Tupac. A lot of great and interesting people who were very prolific and conflicted all at the same time. You know what I mean? You know how they go. You know, so Cee Lo Green, I've been answering this question by saying Thomas Callaway writes the songs that Cee Lo Green sings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Thomas Callaway is really this really down home Southern country boy. I write songs. I'm really a writer at my heart. You know what I'm saying? But then of course, when I'm extroverted as Cee Lo Green, it's over the top. It's outrageous. You know, it's the extrovert. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So that's just the duality that I deal with. So I'm really all of that inside of myself. You know what I mean? Like I have the full spectrum. I can go from one polar opposite of the spectrum to the other.